Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our first topic today in the breakfast show. Well, Education and Technical Education Minister Rida Higazi said that the developing technical education represents an investment in the human capabilities, noting that the ministry aims to set up more applied technological schools in various different domains in Egypt. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Nabil Gad, education expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, Dr. Gad, can you brief us about the importance of expanding and also establishing the applied technology schools and its impact on modernizing the technical education system here in Egypt?
Well, this is the future for education and for helping our young generation to be holding very good jobs in the future. I'm actually so pleased that the trend nowadays is towards the technical education and the applied technical education, or the applied technology, I mean. And I was so pleased yesterday when His Excellency the President, along with other ministers, inaugurated or announced the inauguration of, I think, new 5 applied technical schools.
And actually, the Minister of Education have inaugurated 5 yes. New international schools of applied technology.
Exactly. That's actually a very good step towards the new trend all over the world. I always compare what Germany, for instance, is doing for the technical education. The main idea is that the concept we have as an Egyptian society is not supporting such a thing, and all people look for having the traditional education and then the normal universities, and the trend nowadays, as I have just mentioned, is towards the applied technology. I remember when I was having my postgraduate degrees, I had the major in applied linguistics for English language teaching. And this is actually very applicable to the needs of the market, I mean the applied technology. And the graduates of such schools will be picked up so quickly, not only regionally or here in Egypt, but maybe in other Arab countries or anywhere in the world. So far, I read that we have about 52 applied technological schools. And there is a vision and a hope, and we have to be mounting up the wings of hope and dreams that by 2030 there will be 420 applied technological schools. That's very good. And the most important thing about that is that we have to have the staff well trained to be teaching and training the students in such schools. Plus, I'm a little bit biased that they should be learning English language or foreign language in general, because we have to cope with all the needs of the world and all the requirements that will help them step forward. And maybe if they are distinguished graduate students, they will be allowed to be joining the technological universities, which have already started in Egypt. So they will be university graduates. Another major point, Ms. Amal, is yes. that we have to change the concept of the society. The look of to the technological education has to be changed, and this is the future. Theoretical studies are okay, but I think the graduates do not have the chances well enough to be seize opportunities of having good jobs. So
Yes, yes, Dr. Gad, it's true what you are saying, that we have to change the image of the technical education schools and the system. Of course, we have to change this mentality, and actually we have to take in consideration and put a model in front of us, which is Germany, for example.
Exactly.
Yes. Give us an idea about this experience by Germany, please.
I think Germany is considered the top,
Yes.
maybe competing with Japan or any other country that gives very good chance for the young generation to be joining such schools. I'm happy to hear, or I've read recently, that these applied technological schools are almost free. The students or the learners there just pay the normal governmental fees for the governmental schools. So this is actually a merit. And their parents, even if they pay more and more, that will be paying for them on the long run. The young generation is to be encouraged. And we have not to forget that not only young men to be joining such schools, let us give also the chance for young women. There should be a sort of balance and fair opportunities for both genders. The due care given by the Ministry of Education and Technical Training, I'm happy to have this link between the two sides or two tracks of education and the planning or the roadmap for such a trend of applied technological education, and having some technological universities nowadays, I think, will be having the fruitful results we all wish to have in the very near future. And let us keep our fingers crossed. Wishing, the good luck for such people. Our new generation who will be the builders of the developing and progressing our beloved country, Egypt.
Yes, so the Minister of Education also spoke about the importance of expanding the technical education and vocational training. The training is very important, of course, and improving its quality and output in line with international systems. The importance of training, we'd like to shed more light on this, please.
This training should not only be for the learners or the pupils in these applied technological schools, but it should be, first of all, for the instructors or the teachers. And I think I have mentioned before in one of the programs that there is something called the OJT, on-job training. So the instructors who are in charge of training these buds for the future, they will have very good flowers. They should have this training whether inside Egypt or abroad. And let me just mention something which could be very attractive for the trainers and teachers, is that the incentives given to them should a little bit be increased to attract them and let all the society feel that these people are doing a very good job for building and reconstructing the track of education in our country. It's not only the general secondary schools that parents suffer a lot in June for their kids sitting for the exams, but the applied technological schools will be good, and I think the training and the work inside these centers, I call them training centers, let me say, would be very beneficial for them and they will be, as I mentioned earlier, they will be picked up so easily, and the labor market will make very good use of them, having very good income, maybe more than other theoretical studies, with all our respect for that, in fact.
Yes. Also, Dr. Gad, the Minister of Education, Dr. Rida Higazi, also spoke about the importance of the private sector and their support for the technical education or vocational education, and their importance in the economic development of Egypt also. So give us an idea about this, please.
Well, this is a very good point, to have the partnership between the private sector and the Ministry of Education and Technological Education as well. The private sector actually is the dynamo that pushes forward the progress in this new field of education, applied technological education. And the private sector, I think, represents about 80% of projects going on. So their participation is most welcome, and they are rendering good service for the country, for Egypt, for our rising generation, who we lay lots of hopes. I'm so happy that they haven't closed gates and doors on building walls against such participation, but they are now effective members to raise the morale of the learners, encouraging them. Maybe when they have some on-job training, they give them some tuition fees, or just for helping them, even for transportation or whatever it may be. The participation of the private sector is a must, and I'm so happy that people are aware enough now to be working hand in hand. It's not only the burden of the Ministry of Education and Technical Training, it's the burden and the responsibility to be charged by all sectors of the society.
Yes, Dr. Gad, you've mentioned concerning Egypt's Vision 2030. So the applied technology schools supposed to achieve Egypt's vision or Egypt's plan for 2030. So what are the steps that the Ministry of Education is taking in order to meet the plan of Egypt's 2030 concerning the vocational and technical schools and education?
Yes, as it is well known that everything that succeeds needs a well-noted plan. And for sure, His Excellency, the Minister of Education and Technical Education, has the idea of forming committees which consists of specialized experts, maybe people having PhD, engineers, those who are in the field of education and in the field of industry, in the field of technology, of telecommunications, whatever, and their ideas and their plans with a very clear vision for the future, I think will help a lot. The 420 applied technological schools is not a small number. What counts is the idea of not quantity, but of quality. Not the idea of the number of schools, but the quality and the performance of the instructors, the trainers, and that would be reflected on the trainees themselves on the long run. But we will have also to encourage them, finance them whatever they need, and this, I just read yesterday that there is a grant of $7 billion coming to Egypt for developing education. So this is actually something that pleased me and will please us. We hope that this will be used wisely and to help the progress and to achieve this vision for the future, the 2030 having 420 schools, not only in the capital of Egypt and the big cities, but all over the country, Upper
Yes.
Egypt, Delta, wherever, in the borders, the western border and the eastern border. So that would cover everything. We have to put in mind that we are responsible for all these places, not only the few governorates.
Yes, Dr. Ragad, we always, while we are reading on the social media or having or reading from our readings, we always see the advice of that a person should know how to do anything with his hands. What I mean is just not taking the career of just a governmental work or other roads that we take in life as the jobs, the normal jobs that we take, but any person should, beside his job, know how to do anything with his hands. What I mean with his hands is making anything at home or manufacturing any small thing, drawing, making some sort of the art of making some wood. And also for the girls should know how to sew. And that was the mentality and the culture of the Egyptians long ago, that the girl should learn how to do many things with her hand beside any job that she is going to choose in her life. And actually the old schools here in Egypt was always keen on to make the students learn how to do anything with their hands. For the girls, they taught them how to sew or how to make any kind of work with like a crochet or something, and also how to cook. And for the boys, they would make them learn how to make some plant anything like planting beans or that sort of mentality that we already had in our schools, and which would pave way for the young students to choose when they finish the preparatory stage. They can choose in the secondary stage to choose a technical school.
Yes, you remind me of programs in foreign TVs where I attended, or I spent some years studying abroad, that they have programs on TV, not only at schools. Do it yourself. They give lessons about, say, plumbing, electrical work, carpentry, and for ladies, young ladies I mean, knitting, crochet, étamine, canava, sewing in general. And this actually saves a lot of the expenditure for the family income. If I have a minor problem in my bathroom and I call a plumber to come, he will charge a lot of money. I'm not mocking them or ignoring their technical and specialized ideas, but if we can do it ourselves, as the program in the foreign TVs, do it yourself, and there are some books for that, for all fields, as I said, in electricity, in plumbing, in carpentry, in maybe planting, as you mentioned in your intro, to have, we noticed that by the end of each Gregorian year, some people have pots in their verandas or balconies, and they cultivate certain, or they put seeds of beans or whatever, and they have very nice maybe flowers or grass that goes up, and it gives very good sight. Once I heard that in one of the European countries, people usually have in their balconies sunflowers, and they put it outside the balcony terrace. Why is this happens? Because the neighbor in front of them or opposite to them can enjoy watching this, and at the same time they enjoy watching the other neighbor who has the same idea. So the housework, you mentioned also the idea of cooking. It's not only for ladies. We hear about so many chefs who are well known, who are males, not only females. So the housework in general will be good, and it will save a lot of money for the family budget on monthly basis.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Nabil Gad, education expert, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following us in this segment. Please stay for more segments and topics on The Breakfast Show.